rock structures always give people difficulties for some reason when they're first starting out. Some long-time artists still struggle with getting rock-looking texture in their artwork. I'm going to show you an easy way you can do that using a simple palette knife. If you'd like to learn more about oil painting as you create for contentment, be sure and click the subscribe button and hit the little notification bell so that you get notified every time we upload a video to help you produce oil paintings like this. We're going to do some more on the rocks, but we're going to add some texture to these two formations now. We still need to let this, because remember, even in the desert lands and the mesas and everything, there's still vegetation along here too. You'll find trees and you'll find little ground growing shrubs. There'll be sagebrush and different types of, like cypress and junipers, and there'll be you might find a stray oak tree in there. There's plenty of life. It's not just all bare land, even if it's out in the desert. Okay, now what we're going to do is, this is a spade painting knife. What we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of our raw umber. We're just going to scrape it off, scrape it a little bit. And as you can see, there's just a little bit on the edge of that knife there. There's not a whole lot. What we're going to do is we're just going to come in. And remember, no straight lines in nature, so we don't have to worry about getting it exact. We just want to, so if you've got a little bit of a nervous jiggle or whatever, perfect. That's what you want. So you just what you'll do is you'll take your knife flat like this, pull some out on your paint, and then just scrape along like you're scraping a razor along the paper or whatever. And you just get that edge, and then just go in and place your texture in your rock formations. When you run out, wipe it off, scrape it up, get you some more, and just come in and add some more. And the thing too, these don't have to be perpendicular, because the erosion lines might be 90 degrees to your structure, but the crevices and nooks and crannies, the way the rocks fall out, probably won't be. So you'll see different ways of gaps and things like that. They're not all going to be one nice, neat, straight line down the rock formation. But as you can see, that makes painting these rocks a lot less work, because you're just using the knife to kind of slowly texture in, and you want to smudge them a little bit, however you want to do it. Get your painting, make it look like you want. Be deliberate with your actions in where you put it, you know. Happy accidents are okay, but when you plan them, the effects can come out so much more. Like right in here, there might be a shadow because of that, where those two structures of rock meet, where it's eroded away. So you might have a little more shadow right in here, right along that edge. And remember, it doesn't matter if it's a straight line or not, because nature doesn't have straight lines. And they're going to be, some of your gaps are going to be bigger as it gets near the bottom. It takes more material with it. But it's the same principle over here on this little canyon. You just want to, this little one back in the distance here, it's the same deal. Just make you some formation that kind of shows up. Don't be afraid to scrape your paint off if you need to. That's what's nice about a painting brush. And the neat thing about this is because you're using a painting knife, it also adds texture to your work. So it's not all flat. And then you can just add a little more texture to your ground back here by just putting your paint on the very end of your knife, and then just lay it and gently tap it. And it'll add a different aspect of shadowing back there. And as you can see now, it takes on a different texture. It's still distant, but it's more pronounced at the same time. And it's the same principle that we're using over here. Want to use some of that paint that you, as you put it on the edges, it's going to spill towards the center. Go ahead and use that in your filling in too. Because as you can see, it's going to give it a different texturing effect. And to get it off, you just wipe your palette knife on your palette, scoop up your next batch, and then just keep going. And you want to carry those all the way down into your base. Biggest trick is to not make it too patterned, and that's never easy because our eyes and our mind sees in patterns. So we got to make sure that if you spot any pattern in your knife work or whatever, that you break it up. so that you're not creating a pattern. And you can skip it across, make it there's literally multiple ways you can do this. You can kind of skip your color in flat, like that. You can do it deliberate at the edges, like I was showing you before. But the neat thing about it is one of the things you can do is if you feather your blade like this on the paint you put down with your knife, now if you'll notice, it starts to make this look like it's curving. And I'll show you how we can take advantage of that here when we get back to using a brush. But right now I want to lay all this in. Then if you just kind of lay your knife on ever so lightly, and then you can just drag your color down. You can skip it in as you like. Wipe that off a little bit. I'm going to go in, I'm going to get some of this we were using raw umber, now I'm going to get some burnt umber. I can get it, let me pick it up here. I'm going to mix in a little bit of the raw sienna with it. Add just a hint of the yellow. It's on our sunset sky. Sunrise is what it looks like more than anything else. Now we're going to come in here and we're just going to add some highlights here and there to what we've been doing. They're just kind of a little reddish brown highlights. And we're not really focusing on making that the focal point. We just want to add just a little variety of that color in there. We're just going to go in, we're just going to kind of skip some in here and there into our crevices. Notice how it also helps that rock formation take shape again. It takes the flat out of it, gives it depth, and provides a little bit of contrast to what we're doing. Like I said, we're not making it a focal point. We're just adding some highlights here and there. Because it's not a primary focus color. It's just an accent that we were slowly adding to our project. Left too much behind there. That's okay. Because it's not so glaring, it doesn't detract. It just accents it just a little bit. A little too much yellow in that, so we're going to darken it up a little bit. Longer. And we're just adding little highlights here and there. If you liked what you saw today and you want to learn more, be sure and click the subscribe button down below and hit the bell notification so that you get notified every time we upload a video or go live. And we'll see you next time as we create for contentment. Meantime, you be sure and have fun.